example of how meaning creates meaning. As news agencies around the world started reporting a story largely because it was being reported elsewhere and therefore assumed to be meaningful, and thereby making it meaningful, which is a fundamental attribute of perception itself. But I was also struck by the fact that it wasn't the illusion per se that was grabbing people's attention, since we are accustomed to them, though usually as simple tricks. What seemed to grab people was that they were seeing it differently from each other. We are very familiar with having different conceptual views about things, though, so how and why was this different? It came down to this. It was because it was color. We are okay with speaking a different language than another person, but when my friends, loved ones, and others whose perception and grasp of reality I trust differ at some fundamental level as color, this raises, for a beautiful moment, albeit too brief, deep, largely unconscious existential questions about how I see the world around me. It unnerves something at the core of how people understood their very consciousness, selves, and existence. As the actor and writer Mindy Kaling tweeted on February 25th, in the midst of the frenzy of #TheDress, one of her many impassioned tweets about it, "I think I'm getting so mad about the dress because it's an assault on what I believe is objective truth." This is the crux about perception and self that the dress brought up for so many. There is an objective truth or reality, but our brains don't give us access to it. We got a shocking look at the cracks in our highly subjective reality through the photo of the dress, and it was a bit upsetting, or at least unsettling. The key for understanding how to enhance creativity through an understanding of perception, as you will soon see, is the following. This brief step into the most fundamental of uncertainties was also exciting for people. It freaked them out a bit, yes, but it thrilled them too. For me personally, it was even more exciting, since I got to observe in real time as millions of people took a dramatic step forward in understanding. Yet some people also wrote off the dress. Okay, my perceptions don't see reality this time, but it usually does. No, I wanted to shout. You never, ever see reality. Unfortunately, this essential point never became the central story of the dress, though some in the scientific community took advantage of the opportunity to engage a broader audience with a topic that in any other cultural moment would have seemed abstruse and irrelevant. In May 2015, for example, Current Biology simultaneously published 3 studies of the dress. One found that the distribution of colors of the dress corresponded to natural daylights, which makes it harder for your brain to differentiate sources of light from surfaces that reflect light. More on this in the next chapter. Another story made a discovery about how the brain processes the color blue, revealing that things have a greater probability of appearing white or gray to the human eye when varied along bluish directions. The last study, which surveyed 1,401 participants, found that 57% see the dress as blue-black, while the white-gold perception of the dress was more common in older people and women. Additionally, on a second viewing, participants' perception sometimes switched white-gold to blue-black, or vice versa. In short, the viral photo proved to be an ideal experimental object to further the study of visual perception. Still, none of this answers the question of why the hell people saw that dress differently. #TheDress tapped into not only how perception works, but why it matters so much to us. It illustrates the extremely counterintuitive nature of our brain. If we saw the world as it really is, then things that are the same should look the same. Likewise, things that are different should look different, always, to everyone. This seems sensible and correct, something we can count on from our perception, or so we thought. After all, seeing different intensities of light is the simplest task the visual brain performs, so simple that even some jellyfish can do it, and they don't even have a brain. Yet perceiving light is not actually as straightforward as it may seem, despite the fact that we do it every waking millisecond. The billions of cells and their interconnections devoted to it are evidence of its difficulty. We rely on this perceptual skill to make instinctive decisions that serve us as we move through the world. The dress, however, revealed that just because we sense light, we don't necessarily see the reality of it. The images that I'll refer to in this next section are included in the accompanying bonus PDF. In the first of the images that follow, each circle is a different shade of gray. It's easy to perceive the varying gradations, things that are